It's past midnight, you're half asleep, and the phone on the other side of the bed lights up. They see it. They tilt it away from you, just slightly. And something old moves in your chest. A hot, ugly little jolt you didn't choose and can't switch off. You tell yourself it's nothing, but you're awake now, staring at the ceiling, doing the math. That feeling has a name today. We call the thing you're afraid of cheating. Now go back 300,000 years. Drop that same jolt into a circle of 40 people asleep on the open ground. And the word means nothing. There's nothing to cheat on, not yet. Picture the world they woke up in. You belong to a group of 30 or 40, moving together across open land. You sleep an arm's length from your neighbors, and they sleep an arm's length from you. Every glance, every touch, every night spent in the wrong shelter, seen and known and remembered by morning. There is nowhere to take a secret. And here is the strange part. No one owns anyone. A partner is not something you keep. A partner is someone who chooses to stay. Hold on to that word, chooses. It's going to matter more than you think. This was how humans lived for more than 90% of our time on Earth. Long before the first wedding, the first vow, the first promise to last a lifetime. And that neat little picture we carry, one faithful couple at the dawn of time, never really existed. It belongs to a much later chapter. The faithful forever couple isn't the ancient natural state of things. It's the invention. But if none of that was natural, why do you feel so much? Why the jolt at midnight? Why does love feel like the oldest thing in you? Because it nearly is. Of every 100 kinds of mammal on Earth, only 3 or 4 form a lasting pair bond at all. Cats don't, cows don't. Most of our own cousins don't. We are one of the rare few. So, when you fall, when one person suddenly matters more than food, more than sleep, you are doing something almost no animal on this planet can do. That ache is not weakness. It's 300,000 years old, and it's rare. So, they bonded, deeply. A man and a woman would find each other, build one shelter, feed one fire. He'd come back from the hunt with meat across his shoulders. She'd have roots and berries already gathered. At night they slept close, their children tucked between them against the cold. But did a bond like that last a whole life? We tend to imagine that forever is the old way, and that pairing and parting is something modern we broke. The real story runs backwards. Among the Hadza of Tanzania, who still live by hunting and gathering, only about 1 adult in 5 stays with the same partner for life. Most bond, raise a child or 2, drift apart, and bond again. And more often than not, it's the woman who ends it. One day she gathers her few things, lifts her youngest onto her hip, and walks to the far side of camp to build a new fire with another man. No one stops her. There is no one who could. We'd call that divorce. A marriage breaking down. For them, there was no vow to break in the first place. Pairing and pairing again was simply the shape a life took. But before any of that, before the shared shelter, before the one fire, came the hardest part of all, being chosen in the first place. And it could cost him years. Picture one young man, he wants one particular girl, and he can't just take her hand. So he moves in near her family and goes to work, hunting, dragging his kills back to their fire, season after season. Every morning, he walks out to prove himself again. Every evening, she watches to see what he carries home, and so do her parents. Only when they're satisfied, sometimes after years of this, is she his. And if they never are, he walks away with nothing but the years he spent. Courtship wasn't a night. It was a long, silent audition, and the price was paid in meat. And what set one man above another came down to a single thing. Not his strength, not his face. Among the Aché of Paraguay, the best hunters fathered far more children than any other men. The one who walked back into camp loaded with food again and again, he was the one women chose and chose again. A poor hunter could go his whole life unseen. Out here, you were worth exactly what you could carry home. Now, here's the question sitting in the back of your mind. Was it always just one man and one woman? An anthropologist named George Murdoch set out to answer exactly that. He gathered records on more than 1,000 human societies from every corner of the world. And in 8 out of 10, a man was allowed more than one wife. The lifelong couple, one partner, no other, wasn't the human default. It was the rare exception. When a man did keep 2, they were often sisters, sharing one home and one fire. The couple we hold up as timeless and natural Most groups knew one or two like that and pointed them out to the young the way we still talk about a couple married 70 years, as the exception, never the rule. None of this made love a calm thing, just the opposite. You fell in love, packed shoulder to shoulder with everyone you knew, a rival always one fire away. So you kept one eye always on the person beside you. And when researchers traced what actually drove ancient people to kill each other, one cause rose to the top again and again. Not hunger, not cold, a partner who had strayed, and the jealousy that came after. In a camp with no walls, an empty bed at dawn was rarely a secret for long, and more than once it ended with someone dead. And yet, this was no loveless world. Two researchers went looking for romantic love across 166 different cultures. They found it in 147 of them, in love songs, in folk tales, in stories of young couples who ran off together against everyone's wishes, the sleepless nights, the ache, the helpless fall. You did not invent that feeling. It was already old when your ancestors felt it around the fire. So, why not just pair off, stay faithful, and raise your children in peace? Because a human child is a creature of overwhelming need, born helpless, useless for years. And out there, close to half of all children never reach the age of 15. No couple could carry that load alone, which is why some peoples did the strangest thing of all. They gave up loyalty to a single partner on purpose. Along the rivers of Venezuela live a people called the Barí, and the Barí were certain that a child could have more than one father, that every man a woman was with before the birth had added something to the baby growing inside her. So, a Barí woman would openly take a second man, a skilled fisherman, a steady hunter, and the whole group accepted both men as the child's fathers. Sounds like a recipe for chaos. But an anthropologist named Stephen Beckerman counted the children. The ones with a second father reached the age of 1580 times out of 100. The ones with a single father, only 64. A second man meant another provider, another pair of hands, and a far better chance the child simply lived. Sit with that. The exact thing you dread at midnight, your partner turning towards someone else, was once the reason a child survived at all. So, were ancient humans loyal to one partner? They bonded deeply, and they bonded often. They stayed, and they strayed. They shared the very idea of fatherhood, and they reached across the land for love. But one person, for one whole life, with no exceptions, that was never their world. Which brings us back to you, to the phone lighting up in the dark, and that hot little jolt you couldn't switch off. That jolt is real, and it is ancient. Your ancestors felt it around a fire a very long time ago, but cheating, the broken promise, the betrayal, the crime, that came later. We built it the day we decided a person could be owned, and that forever could be promised. The feeling is theirs. The word is ours. Whatever moves in your chest tonight, they felt it first. Their loves are in you. Their jealousies are in you. They just never had a word for it.